Most people, when they think about healing, they actually expect to feel better and better. But the thing is that when you have so many misalignments, the moment that you align one thing, everything else that you have misaligned actually gets disrupted. So let's take physical example. Let's say that you are a kid who loves running and everything, and you thought like, oh, I'm gonna run a marathon. I'm always the fastest kid in school. And let's say you were like 8 years old and this is where you broke your leg. And after this, you thought, oh my God, I cannot run right now. And your parents said like, you're gonna be fine, just rest. The doctor put your leg back together. Everything seemed fine. But then as an adult, you notice that something feels off, something feels wrong. You cannot run as fast anymore. It sometimes hurts to even stand. You can't do exercises in a particular way, and you think that something is off and you cannot continue training for that marathon that you always wish to do. So feeling that pain, you actually go to the doctor checks in what's wrong with your leg, and doctor tells you this leg has been misaligned and you actually need to break it in order to have its full functionality. Again, it's not that complicated to fix, but it's going to be for sure painful, and you're going to need some time to actually be able to restore it back to normal, and then you can run marathons, be next to Usain Bolt, and anything you want after that. So this is exactly how healing truly feels like. The discomfort, the pain you actually need to experience, even though it's going to be more intense that you have been usually feeling. So for example, that chronic pain, that okay, something is wrong with leg, even though that I am doing everything and everything seems fine. But the thing is that it's going to be a more intense pain, very precise type of pain, in order for you to know that this is going to fix the exact thing that you are looking to fix. So it's all about embracing the pain that you're currently feeling, going in, solving the main issue, and allowing yourself to heal from it. This is where you're going to be able to rest, to actually move into direction mindfully where you want to go. So the same thing is actually when it comes down to boundaries. If you never knew how to actually do that properly, or let's say if you have a thing like overeating or anything else, whether big or smaller, you have particular patterns in relationships and so on. So all of that is actually a continuous pain that you keep on experiencing that makes you uncomfortable. But this is where we're going to actually focus on going into that deep healing, a very purposeful and a very precise type of pain, and embracing that pain, which allows us to heal that particular pain that we have currently in life. But it's not going to be a very quick, easy fix. It's going to be definitely a process. So why does it necessarily need to hurt in order for you to actually and truly heal? The thing is that when we are getting hurt in the first place, this is where we are in a survival mode and we're adapting to our experience. And based on that adaptations, we build all of our life around. So what do I mean by that? If we go back into the same example with a broken leg, right? Let's say that you broke it when you were a kid, and then when you're grown up, you feel that, okay, I'm not the fastest kid in the school, I cannot run marathons, and you decide that, okay, I still love doing, for example, that physical kind of activity or sports or something. And you think, well, legs, I can't exactly do anything with that particular thing, but I can use my upper body. So you decide to go kayaking. So everything around you starts to being built around that, and you become so good at it, so good within this adaptation, that you win medals. You have all the friends within that particular sports. All of your friends are the ones that are also competing for that medal, or all of your teammates also are there. Also, your family is very proud of you because you are that champion and everything. So as you can see, everything was built around that particular adaptation. So when it comes down to you, when you are already in that type of position in this particular example, and you decide that, oh, there's actually something that I can fix that, and I still always felt that I wanted to run, I wanted to go for marathon, like marathon was your always like a dream, and the doctor says like, yeah, I see what the issue is and we can actually fix this, but in order to do that, yet again, we're gonna need to re-break it. So what is the potential hurt here is that, you know, if you're going to go along with this, then everything else might suffer. Why? Because you know that your lifelong dream was to run a marathon. So it means that everything that goes with kayaking is actually going to start to go away. So you decide that, okay, do I actually want to heal or not? Because I have everything together, everyone like saying like, oh my god, everything is great, why do you even need that operation, everything seems good, like you don't have any particular risks with that leg, like you're fine, you don't need that, right? Everyone might try to tell you that, but you know that your true wish, your true purpose, and what gives you that fulfillment in life is actually maybe it's just like running in general, right? And you want to run that marathon. So the risk is either keep everything as it is, but you're unhealed, either you heal and then you know that there's a risk of losing everything that you have because you want to go in the new direction of running, because your family might not support you, your friends are from kayaking and they say that you're crazy because you're the best on the team. Also, your career is just like, okay, you built your career in kayaking and now you want to start from the beginning. So you have all of these concerns and you start thinking, do I really need this? This is where that pain really comes in, where you start to see what is for what is, and if you actually want to heal in order to go further in life where you wanted to go in the first place, and stop living with adaptation, even though it worked so well up to that point, that you feel that this is your next step that you want to do in life. So I like to put it this way, that the terrifying beauty of healing is actually that you are allowing yourself to release the life that you built on adaptation in order to live a life that you're really meant for. So a lot of people in that situation would say like, why would I even bother to change anything because everything's good? When you look on a surface level, it truly looks like that. When you're not that person, it truly looks like that. And it seems that for you, being that person, not being understood and hearing what everyone says, might make you feel that you're going a little bit crazy, because everything that you're going off of is the feeling that you really want to, like something that you're really aligned to. This is where before you actually start healing and actually starting to experience something that completely starts shifting your life, you have to go on faith and you have to go with expecting to face that pain, which is not an easy thing to do, but it's absolutely necessary in order for you to get where you want to be. In the big picture, in this situation, when everything shifts and you can see that that person is actually like healed and they got their leg back into everything where it needs to be, they actually start to go into that direction of, okay, it doesn't matter because I know that I am not going to live my life fully and completely if I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing now, because I feel that something is missing. So they decide that, okay, for me, it's more valuable to actually at least go into the direction that I always wanted to, because that gives meaning to me rather than doing what I've always done. Even though it makes sense for everyone else, it doesn't make sense to me anymore. So you basically come into that kind of situation that I would rather do something that really and truly means something for me, rather than going along with something that works for everyone else rather than me. And when you see that, no, you cannot do that to yourself anymore, and you know that the possibility is there, you're facing also another truth, that I would rather go and try and do anything I can, even if I won't succeed in what I want to succeed, and basically die in doing what I want to do, rather than keep on going in something that wasn't really truly meant for me. So when it comes down, for example, to adaptations to other people, when we are used to particular patterns in those kind of situations where, for example, we are used to adapt as being a people pleaser, since I've been there, I can completely relate to that. And this is where we find people who find ways to use us, and this is where you start realizing, you start healing, and you start seeing how everything is, even though everything seemed like kind of alright, and you make it seem like, okay, everything is better as it is now. When you start healing, when you start seeing things as they are, you cannot be okay seeing what is happening, and your boundaries start to appear, and you even start to understand your boundaries in the first place, because usually those people who have people-pleasing issues, so the truth is that everyone has something that they have misaligned, something that they have unhealed. Some people, for sure, they have more traumatizing experiences that they had from their past. Some people have a little bit less. So it's absolutely normal to have at least something that can be improved, that can be aligned, and that will work absolutely no questions asked for you in the best ways possible in order for you to serve and for you to stop adapting and using so much energy to make sure that you're dodging one thing or another, or actually making compromises with your own wishes, how you want to live in life. Because at the end of the day, everything that you want in life, it's there actually for a reason. So everything that you want from relationships, everything that you want from life in your career, everything like how you want to live in general, like everything comes back to you and how it wants to be. So you can even ask yourself, do you feel that this particular thing, that this particular field maybe in life is something that truly aligns with you, or is it something that you're actually not completely feeling good about? Because that particular feeling that you're not complete with it means that something is lacking. So there's a possibility of misalignment, and there's a possibility of something that you are able to heal. Even if it's the smallest thing, it will actually work for you immensely, because energy will flow naturally, it will go where it needs to go, and you will be able to express yourself and flow through those different things in life way easier than you were used to before. And I think it's very important to mention here as well that certain adaptations, they're actually glorified in life. So if we're looking into hustling culture, if we're looking into being obsessed at the gym, or if we're looking at being such a good person and doing so many sacrifices for others, like there are so many things that are actually glorified in society as like doing the right thing. But the thing is that this is just another adaptation when you're compensating something, where you're making compromises with what actually is real for you. Oh, I thought I mentioned a few more. For example, when especially it comes to emotions, that like that person is only happy all the time, very motivated, very positive. So I was also in that adaptation as well. Also, when people are very numb in situations, so for example, they are emotionless, they seem like they are calm, but it's different than calm. Calm is actually a very good space to be in, but numbness is actually where you don't even experience emotions. So that's another adaptation based on what the person experienced. So there's so many things to look into, but I thought I'd throw those in as well, just for you to see, and maybe you will have the awareness that, oh my god, I actually do have this, and this is worth looking into as well. So there's actually like so much that comes into this particular topic, but I just want you to be aware where you're actually even making yourself, where you're using willpower in order to make sure that no, I'm actually am it this way or that way, I have very like a strong willpower. Because I know that I did a lot from my willpower in previous years before I became more aligned, more awakened about what is actually happening, and that was draining me so much, and I was constantly in chronic fatigue, and I didn't know what exactly was happening up until I realized that there were so many things where my energy was just leaking out because I was having those particular adaptation process essentially. So of course, next natural question is, how do we actually heal? So there's a lot of ways, and I tried like a million of those. I have been going in all of these practices more intensely for past 3 years. Before that, it was more of trying to feel good when I didn't actually feel good. So when it comes down to actually seeing what is happening and healing, and not trying to run away from those bad feelings, from that pain. So for example, if someone stabs you, you know that you're not going to say like, oh, okay, bless them and it comes from love and I let them go and so on. No, you're going to be in survival mode, and you're going to make sure that you are first of all focusing on how to heal yourself. So I don't want you to look for that band-aid solution. I want you to actually see how you can help yourself in the best way possible. And for me, the deepest way, the best way, the one that actually like goes right to the point which needs to be healed every time, is actually the completion process from Teal Swan. I am absolute nerd for this particular process, and I have been doing this for the last year, and this process has brought me so much more clarity, so much more alignment, so many manifestations that I wanted to happen in life. And even though this process is not a sexy one when you're going through it, of course, like this is the whole message of the video, that's not that great when you're going through it, but the thing is that the insights, the clarity, like everything that you get from it is absolutely insanely valuable. Like this completely changes your core vibration. Everything that you have learned from some conscious level where you don't even remember anything, you're allowing those painful memories, those painful emotions to really come up, and you're embracing them and just allowing for that energy to move, this is where you're following the thread through that emotion in order to make sure that you're actually being led to the memory where it all started, because this is where we're working with the root cause and we're taking it out. And when that is adjusted, where we are able to help ourselves essentially through this particular process, this is where we are basically putting our pieces back together where they're supposed to be. We're taking our power back from everyone that actually got that power from us in the first place. And there's so many more things that comes into this particular process. So there's actually a video that Teal Swan made recently about this particular process, so I will leave it down below so we can check it out and understand how absolutely beautiful and wonderful it is after the whole painful part is over. And also I want to let you know that I'm working one-on-one with people and guiding them through this particular process in order to basically make your healing faster, because when someone else is able to help you out with your process, it can actually help you to heal even faster. So imagine, as if with that leg, right? If someone else is helping you like a doctor, you're like, okay, like I'm good. Of course, you have to do your part. You have to show up. You have to be in the right mindset. You have to make sure that you're doing all the right things when you are informed to do particular things. So it's all about that, about building trust and allowing someone else to guide you through everything that needs to be done in order for you to get into that whole and healthy self once again. But other than that, you can also do it by yourself. I would absolutely encourage you to do that, because this is where I started actually. Probably the fastest way is by accessing her book, The Completion Process, and also she has the Completion Process, an online e-course, so you can absolutely do that as well. You can find everything on her website. And I want to put in even more deeper emphasis on this process, because I know how bad you can feel right now and think like, oh, like I did so many things, nothing helped me, and so on and so forth. Believe me, I went through so many different type of healing practices and ways, and this was really groundbreaking for me. Of course, it really did require a very patient kind of mindset to make sure that, okay, I don't expect it to heal like this, just like you don't expect for your broken leg to heal in a day, right? So it like step by step, it has to come to place. You have to give yourself time. You have to allow yourself to be like gracious with this whole process, because nothing comes instantly. Every time you're going to go through this process, it's going to build on itself. So there's going to be so many more insights that come from different type of situations in your life. So even though you're healing one thing, it becomes like a ripple effect that actually affects everything else as well. So why am I so sure of this process as well? Not to mention that it helped me immensely. It helped people around me who I already work with as well. Also, I want to mention about this particular creator, the author of this process, Teal Swan, as mentioned. So she was actually in a cult for 13 years, since she was from 6 years old to 19 years old. And it's absolutely horrible what she was going through. She saw literally a kid in front of her eyes chopped to death, and also she was basically tortured, and she was brainwashing other kids because she was brainwashed herself. And there's like so many things that was traumatizing, and that she was so entangled and manipulated and horrified, and nothing helped her. After she actually experienced it, she saw that there's nothing that can help her, and she saw people who went through this particular kind of ritual trauma, how they still were crippled in anxiety and fear and all of that horror. And it's been like years and years, like older ladies that she saw in particular groups where she tried to help herself, but she saw that nothing is happening. So she came eventually to this particular process, which helped her, and then she has like a million stories where it helped other people as well. So if you are still deciding, oh, I don't know, should I heal, should I not, I really encourage you to actually look into all of those stories, how it helped other people as well, so we can see that, okay, at the end of the day, it's really, really worth it. And honestly, I don't have it that bad, because I thought that I had it horrible until I saw and heard stories from other people, and I'm like, oh my god, like what I'm going through, this is gonna be a piece of cake. I'm not minimizing anything that you're going through, and it is hard no matter what you're going through. Nothing should be minimized at all, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of hope that you can gain just from seeing and feeling and just empathizing with what other people have gone through and how they are right now. So I really encourage you to do that. So before I check out, I really want to encourage you to reflect on this question. Are you ready to break what doesn't work so you can finally build what does? And remember that no one else can do this for you. No one else can heal you for you. No one else will solve your issues for you. No one else is going to experience the pain that you're experiencing based on your adaptations, based on your pain that you experienced up to this point. So I leave you with that, and I really hope that this inspired you to look into this in a little bit of a different way. Even though, yes, I'm exposing the truth that is not very lovely to hear, and I know that probably I would question myself as well before getting into this particular work, before I did get into it, because I didn't know that it's going to be like this, that since like from one alignment a lot of other things are going to start falling off, others going to start coming into places where they should be. And this is not a light process to go through, but at the end of the day, if you would start doing this today and you would look a year from now how everything is going to change, you're going to see like, oh my god, this was a very intense year, but now I'm so grateful that I am where I am, and I know that I would have done this no matter what again if I needed to, just to get where I am today. For me, I'm doing this every day, and I'm always very excited to do this each day because I know how much better, how much more aligned, how much more clear I am, and I know where I'm going just thanks to this particular process. So I hope this inspires you. I hope it gives you some more insight into this whole process. And if you start already to go into this healing journey, keep on going. You absolutely are going to see those results. And if you haven't, I hope that this will give you a little bit of a better understanding what you can expect, because sometimes expectations and reality really differs, and this is where I want to bring this to you, that this is going to be the way that it's going to be, right? It's not going to be very sexy at first, but later you're going to be very happy about it. You're going to need patience because sometimes your brain is going to want to come back to where it was before because it's too hard to change. Your brain does not like to change. It likes to learn new things, but it does not like to change, especially when it comes down to actually risking safety that you have right now. It will want to come back where it was. It's going to start telling you lies that you're doing something wrong, that nothing is working, that you've already been doing this for so long and nothing is happening, where are your manifestations, and everything like that. So this is normal part of the process as well, so keep your eye on that. But at the end of the day, when you're going to go through that, you're going to push through the adversity and everything will start aligning in the right place. You're going to be very happy and very grateful for yourself that you actually had the courage and the patience to do that. All right, so that's it for me today, and have a good day and have a good week as well.